Let's try this again. No, no. There you go. Hey, welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you so much for coming in. Today, let me show you what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about this: desire and prayer. Desire and prayer. If I move that, can you guys see that? Oh yeah, you can. Anyway, so desire and prayer, and we are going to speak about. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the subscription. All right. Desire and prayer. So both of these things are instrumental to how you develop and manifest your life. Your manifestation is what I call, it's like an unfolding of your future. If you want to think of it like origami, you're unfolding paper and you just continuously are unfolding it, and when you are unfolding it, something new is popping up, something new is standing out. It's like one of those pop-up books. When you open the book, something is popping up. That's your life. Okay, so manifestation is not always intentional. Most of the time, actually, it's unintentional, or it's indirect, something unconscious that you aren't really aware that's happening. And this is why I think it's really important for us all to understand, or at least be introduced to desire and prayer. And like a lot of us, we really don't understand why our lives aren't going or isn't going the way that we want. We work in these 9-to-5 jobs that we simply don't like. We aren't making enough money. We aren't finding the right man. We're not finding the right woman. Our family is betraying us. Everything's going wrong. Our car is breaking down. We're on the verge of getting fired, and we just don't understand why. I'm here to tell you, you are manifesting it. You are unfolding this in your life, and there's a couple of ways how we manifest our life. But one way is through a thing called prayer. And many of us assume that prayer is something where we're on our knees, that we are in our prayer closet. Yes, that is a way. That is what I call direct prayer or conscious prayer. You're literally asking for protection. You're asking God for forgiveness. You're asking God for clarity, strength, grace, mercy, all this wonderful stuff. That's called prayer. That's intentional prayer. That's what I call it. But then there's a thing called unintentional prayer, or constant prayer. It's prayer. The actual essence of prayer. I want you guys to understand what prayer actually is. And I think it's very important because we all do it whether we want to or not. Whether we want to or not. The word prayer, it means to beg, or it also means to ask earnestly. So begging for something, if, an easy example of what begging actually is if you are driving and you see a homeless man on the corner, he has a sign, help me please, I need some money. He's begging for money, all right? Or he's asking earnestly, please give me some money, please ask earnestly. That means to pray. That's the definition. There's a process though in spirit. All prayer is a constant thing, whether you do it deliberately or unintentionally, consciously or unconsciously. And you exist in a type of prayer. There are actually 7 types of prayer. 7 types of prayer, and I've written about it. And each of these types of prayers, each of these 7 types of prayer, you exist in. But prayer is actually a type of intuition. And what is intuition? It means spiritual perception. Okay? The word intuition, it means spiritual perception. So if you are perceiving things in spirit, then this is called intuition. And we all think that intuition is just a gut feeling. Yes, sometimes we experience that in our gut, like, ooh, I shouldn't trust this guy, or I shouldn't trust, or I shouldn't buy this car, or maybe I should turn down this road instead of this road, right? This gut feeling. That is intuition. Okay, that's just a feeling of intuition. Okay, but there's many types of intuition. Prayer is just one of them. Okay, now what is prayer spiritually? Prayer is when the human or the creation is speaking or expressing towards God. Okay, I'll say that one more time. Prayer is when the human or the creation, us, you, me, him, her, when we are expressing or talking to God. Prayer is one way. It's not a double-way street. Many people think it's a conversation. But because it is spiritual perception, it's a thing that we perceive. We can only look. Okay, we can only hear, we can only taste. There's no real there's no real action that can be done in a thing called prayer. And I know there's a lot of things that people feel that prayer is, especially the church. The church has confused people about what prayer actually is. Let me get a drink of water. Oh, I'm streaming on YouTube and on TikTok. So you people on TikTok, you won't be able to come up and jump in the box. I will stream live later regularly, so you can come up and join me if you'd like to talk about whatever. But this is just me yapping. All right. While you guys are watching, don't forget to like the live. And thank you guys for all of your support. I am grateful. All right. So back to business. Prayer is a one-way street. Prayer is how we communicate to God and also to the devil. You can pray to the devil as well. There's demonic type of prayer. And I'm not going to get into any of that specifically, but we all know that there are witches, there are warlocks, there are these people things that summon demons. You can summon a demon. When you summon anything, that is intuition. Like, that is prayer. You are praying to, okay? That's why it's called pray. Like, you're praying. You are praying to. I can't emphasize this enough. Prayer is a one-way street. You don't pray with. Prayer is always individual, and you are always praying to. If you're praying to God, you are not praying with God. You are praying to God. You are expressing yourself. Okay, if you are praying to the devil, don't do that. You are praying to the devil. It's never with. Okay, now, when you when you understand that prayer is a one-way street and that you're talking to God, then you have to ask, what level of prayer do I exist in? What level of prayer do I really exist in? And I will go through each of the 7 types of prayer so we can understand what they are and you can understand where you are. All right? Now, the 7 types of prayer, and I've written about it in my book. The book, it's linked in the bio. It's called A Peace Called Love and all of this great stuff. Check it out. Download it. It's not free. So if you don't want to get that, I have other free stuff. But I did write about it in depth. So prayer, there's levels. And we're going to start at the lowest level. From the lowest level to the top. And there's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 7th level is the highest, meaning it's the best type. Okay? And it's the type that is closest to God. It's the type that is in the sense that you are making the most sense when you are communicating in this manner or in this space. All the types of prayers, the 7 different types, think of them as types of pools, like types of areas, types of spaces that it just exist in. Okay? And when you exist in a certain type of space, you feel things, you act a certain type of way, you attract certain things in your life. All right? Now, does everybody understand that? Everybody understand that? Let me know in the chat if you understand that. Okay. So, the lowest type of prayer is called ignorance. Okay? I'm looking at it right now. Ignorance. Ignorance. Okay, this prayer type it's when the host has become arrogant. It's when host, me, you, him, her, it's when we are self-centered. It's all about me. This is where like narcissists exist, okay? And this is the lowest type, meaning this is where the devil thrives. This is where demonics, this is where demons thrive. This is where you are communicating to these types of demons and spirits, okay? When you are in the lowest level, called the ignorance type of prayer, everything is wrong except for you. Okay, if I exist in the ignorance type of prayer, the space called ignorance, the prayer type called ignorance, everything is wrong except for me. Okay? The devil responds accordingly here. Okay, this is where the devil thrives. Okay, remember the word spirit, it means breath. Okay, spirit, it means breath. So your breath, this is how spirits work. This is very simple. Okay, it's simple. All right. The next type is called fear-oriented. Okay, fear-oriented. And this is level 2. Okay, I just told you level 1. Level 2 is fear-oriented. This is when the devil or people, this is when people are, it's kind of like fear-mongering. When people want to place, they taunt you with the idea of hell. This is where, you better not do that or you're going to get in trouble, right? This is a type of prayer. This is like where the doomsday preppers, like the extreme preppers, where they have bunkers underneath ground and they have satellites and solar panels. All of that's great, but this is where they exist. Okay, they're fear-oriented, and remember, prayer is a one-way street. So when you are in level 2, fear-oriented, you don't speak intentionally, like you just exist. It's kind of like when I jump into a pool of water, all my skin, I'm going to feel a chilling sensation. Okay, when you jump into the second type, you feel fear, like you feel like as if everything is going to take you to hell. Okay, and remember, the level of prayer that you exist in, you then start to attract naturally things that match that. Okay? Everything is going to take you to hell. Everything is going to bring you down. Okay? I hope I'm making sense. I hope you guys are still with me. All right? Thanks guys for being here. Thanks guys for tapping in. Thanks for tapping the screen. Thanks for showing love. I'm streaming on TikTok and on my YouTube. You can get to my YouTube, or you guys, if you're on YouTube, you probably are already watching it right now because I'm on the same device. But anyway, the second type, remember, is fear-oriented, and unfortunately, parents, we want the best for our children. So when we raise them, we exist here because we just don't want them to go to jail. We don't want them to, to get hurt. We don't want them to do this. So we teach them out of fear. We teach them fear-based living. And so, we don't teach them courage. We don't teach them to be adventurous. We really don't teach our children this. This is kind of a reflection on like how people are existing today. How people are, not really willing to be entrepreneurs. They're so afraid that it's going to fail. Right. So most people exist on the level 2, the second type of prayer, the second level of prayer. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I like the multi-stream. All right, here we go. So next, the third type of prayer, the third level of prayer is called greed oriented. Okay, it's greed. You're greedy. I'm greedy. He's greedy. She's greedy. It's greed. And what does this level do? Okay, remember these prayer types, it's almost as if you are jumping into a pool of water. The water is what the title of the prayer level is. So the third level is greed. You're jumping into greed. And when you jump into greed, you experience something. Okay, there's feelings and sensations and a frame of mind and a thought pattern that just organically occurs. All right, so greed is when the idea of a better place is haunting you. For example, even if you live in a tent, even if you are super wealthy, the idea of a better place, like greener grass exists. Okay, even if your grass is green, you have the mindset of, man, they're just green. The grass is greener over there. I don't think that I could ever, I just don't want what I have now. I want that. That's greed. Okay, and this is the third type of prayer, and it's not holy. Okay, this is a confusing type of prayer. It's very confusing because it's widely adopted. A lot of people adopt this type through the concept of ambition. Just be ambitious. Ooh, I'm a hustler. We got to get it. It's time to grind. Okay. This third level of prayer is where people exist, but it's super confusing because we've been taught that it's good. We've been taught that it's good. Now, I'm not advocating people live in tents or people sleep on concrete or anything crazy like that. But if you're not content where you're at, you can't be thankful, because the word thankful means content. It means satisfied. Okay? So, this is kind of like politicians right here. Greed. All politicians live on this level, the third level of prayer. They 100% of them, they exist in this level of prayer. They cannot understand that even at the highest level, they still want more. They still want more votes. You are the president of the United States. What more do you want? You are the president of Russia. What more do you want? What more do you want? You are at the top. But greed, it confuses people because they think there's better. They think that the grass is always greener. Keyword always. Okay? Does that make sense? If it makes sense, leave or let me know down in the chat, please. And thanks for tapping. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the gifts. I will be on TikTok a little later on my normal stream, so you guys can jump in the box and talk. I see we got the likes up to 1,000. Can we get the likes up to 5,000? Anyway, so now we're going to move on to the next type, the fourth level of prayer. The fourth level of prayer is called the logic and clever oriented level. This is number 4. It's logic and clever. It is both logic and clever. Okay, being clever, it means an expert thief. Okay, you are an expert at stealing things. You are an expert at being a thief. Okay, and I'm not just talking about like going into a bank or stealing cookies from the cookie jar, but let's take that example. You're a child and you ask your mom, "Can I have a cookie?" And she says no. So you wait until your dad comes around because you know that your dad will do anything for you. And you play the emotional card that most kids know how to do, good cop, bad cop, and you ask your dad, and your dad gives you the cookie. That's clever, okay? Clever is an expert thief. It's not necessarily violent, but it just means you are really good at stealing things. All right? So, logic, okay? Logic is when you are able to identify and apply processes in any environment. So 1 plus 1 is 2. This is a process. If this process here on Earth is true, is it true also on Mars? Yes, that's logic. We have logic. Okay. If you jump here on Earth, are you going to go up? Yes. Same with Mars? Yes. Okay, that's logic. If you throw a ball, so logic holds true in any environment. The process holds true in any environment. Okay? So, that's the 4th level. Now let me talk a little bit about that. Okay? Hey guys on YouTube. All right. So logic, this prayer type is where God and the devil are swirling around each other. Okay, remember the prayer levels are kind of just imagine you jump into a pool of water and that water touches your skin and that it's you get all this sensation, you have to hold your breath, the chlorine goes into your nose and your hair's waving and back and forth. All of this stuff is happening to you when you jump into the pool. All of these different levels, you experience things similar to when you are inside of a pool of water. Okay, so level 4 is logic and clever. And this is where the devil and God are swirling around. Okay, this is where the host, you, me, identifies existence as an obstruction. Okay, kind of confusing, kind of strange. Strange, because it's foreign. You've never heard this before. But this is where you and I and whoever exists here, everything is against you. Everything, it's so hard. Everything is like, why can't I just log into the computer? Why does the computer have to have all these different programs, all these different things? This technology is here to help you. Okay, so the logic and prayer and clever type can either be productive or destructive. Okay, and remember these levels really aren't good or bad. It's just where you exist. Okay, this is simply where you exist. And if you want to look at this, what I'm reading from, okay, I wrote this book. This book is linked in my bio. You can download it yourself. No, it's not free, but it's all there. And prayer is a chapter in the book that I wrote. Okay. 1 second. Let me get a drink of water because it's about to get spicy. All right. What's going on TikTok? You guys tapping the screen? You guys are not tapping the screen. Thanks, Angela, for the love. I appreciate that. I really enjoy this. I do. All right. So remember, being clever is the word clever. It means expert thief, an expert thief. So you, if you are clever, you are substituting cleverness for intelligence. Okay? The word intelligent means your ability to choose. Okay? Left or right. Left or right. Hey, everybody in TikTok and YouTube. Okay, so left or right. When you are intelligent, you have the ability to decide or choose on something. Many people don't have the ability. Now let's just take the cookie jar example. Your child asks you for a cookie, you say no, but your child has already made the decision. I want that cookie. So now your child can't make a decision. Your child can't choose. So your child substitutes intelligence with being clever. Okay? When you are clever, you erase your intelligence. There's no more intelligence here. And that, unfortunately, when you are existing in the logic and clever level of prayer, the fourth level of prayer, there's no intelligence. You are clever. You are logical. Okay? You have to be logical in order to get that cookie. You have to be logical and clever in order to get that cookie. Okay? So that's the fourth level. All right. Now, we're going to move on to the next one. This next one, the fifth layer, is the intelligence-oriented prayer type. The fifth layer, fifth level, the fifth space of prayer is called the intelligence-oriented type. Okay? When you are in this space, this is the beginning of love. This is the beginning of love. This is the beginning of your introduction to God. Okay, remember, the higher the number of prayer, the closer and better, more clear communication that you have with God. The lower the number, the more clear and transparent communication that you have with the devil. Okay, it works like that. Now, number 5 is intelligence. This prayer type is when you become useless to society. You guys ever seen Jim Carrey? Back in the day when he played in all those comedies, he was so funny, so witty, and then he grew up and you see this beard and he's like a little off. He's like, I don't know if I can say this on TikTok, so I'm not going to say it. Like, he's so aloof. He's not useful to society anymore. Like, he's entering his, like, the beginning of his spiritual awake. Like, he's spiritually awakened at this point. Okay, and anybody here, it's like you look at your life and you're like, I don't need to worry anymore. Worry is not a thing here. Doubt is not a thing here. Destruction is not a thing here. This is the beginning of love. You are spiritually awakened on this level. Number 5, the fifth type of prayer is intelligence oriented. Okay? This type of person, when you are here, you become overwhelmed with God's beauty in everything. You are like a child walking around with an exclamation point on the top of your head instead of a question mark. It's like, oh, what's this? Your curiosity is here, This is why, like, you become so useless in society, okay? So, this type of prayer has no utility. Again, you cannot use this type, if you exist here, and not many people exist here, it's just true, not many, okay? Okay, I'm gonna get a drink of water. How you guys doing here on TikTok? Thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for doing all of the TikTok stuff. I appreciate you guys. Got 34 people in here on TikTok. I got a couple of people watching here on YouTube. This is amazing. I want to stream more often, and I want to get the message truly to everybody watching. Okay, you can put the phone down and just listen if you're doing something at work, but please don't forget to tap the screen here on TikTok. Now, we're going to go to the next level of prayer. The 6th level of prayer, okay? Remember, there are 7 levels of prayer. Prayer is one way. Prayer is not a conversation. You never pray with. You pray to. Okay? You never pray with. You pray to. You pray to God. You don't pray with God. You pray, or some of you guys, and I don't recommend this, you pray to the devil. You never pray with the devil. They're listening, and then they provide. Okay? And the provision is what we're going to talk about afterwards. Now, the 6th level of prayer is called the meditation type. This is your meditative state, okay? And remember, all of your types of prayer, you are not, you just exist here. You get surrounded in these types of prayers, okay? Like, you get surrounded in a type of energy when you exist here. So, the meditation type is the 6th type. This is when the host has the ability to look at his own face. You become awareness. You become awareness itself. This type of prayer is pure intuition. And there are many types of intuition. There's joy, there's worry, there's doubt, you become intuition. And this is what I call the owl on the tree. You just become eyes. You are everything. You see how I'm sitting here? If I become intuition, I'll be able to look at myself from the ceiling. I'll be able to see myself move around. I'll have an image of what's happening, but from the ceiling. That's awareness. That's intuition. Okay? God thrives with this type of prayer. I fully assume that this is where Jesus was. When you have like certain gurus, like Osho or like Muhammad and all the greats in the spirit world, I believe they existed here. Okay, this is where God thrives. You become a walking beacon of observation. This is where the people with the spiritual gift of teaching, because that's a gift, just like healing and empaths are a gift. Teaching, not educating, teaching is the gift of teaching exists here. Thus, Jesus is a teacher. He has the gift of teaching. He exists here. Okay? The devil does not exist here. There's no devil here. There's no demonic force here. Okay. Does that make sense? Everybody on YouTube, does that make sense? All right. Thank you, everybody. Oh man, we're up to 2.7K taps on TikTok. Thank you so much. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for your attention. Now, the last type of prayer is bliss and joy and celebration. This is where you become like a child or childlike again. Okay? This is where ignorance is bliss. Okay? The word bliss means happiness, grace, favor. Okay? And when you are here, I truly tell you, unless you change and become like little children, childlike, like little children, you will never enter the gates of heaven. Okay? That was from the Bible. You have to become like little children. So this is where the highest form of prayer. The highest form of prayer. This is where it is. And remember, what I'm reading from is the book that I wrote. You can download the book yourself. It is not free. I have a whole chapter on prayer, and it goes even more in depth than what I'm talking to you today about. Okay? So I'm not going to get too far into that, but that's prayer. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the provisions. Okay? Each of those 7 types of prayer, you just exist inside of an area, like a pool of water. You just exist. And what's surrounding you, the water, we call that desire. The word desire, it means from the Father, or from the stars. It does not mean, oh, I desire you. No. Desire, okay, desire is when you are observing who is providing you, what they are providing you, what their morals are, what their rules, their regulation is. So I want to just give you an example of what desire truly is, because we are truly confused about what desire actually is. So I want you to imagine that you have 2 pictures, right? You have 2 pictures here. And in one picture over here, you have a picture of me receiving a cake from Oprah, right? Oprah Winfrey is handing me a cake, okay? And then on this picture, Osama bin Laden is handing me a cake. And I'm smiling and I'm looking at you and in the picture, and they snap the picture, okay? Now, there's 2 photos of me receiving cake from 2 different people, okay? You might be wondering, why would he ever take cake from Oprah over here? Oprah is this, Oprah is that, Oprah is this. Or you might be like, I like that he's taking cake from Oprah. Oprah is a good woman. Oprah is good. Oprah is good. Oprah is good. On the same token, right, with Osama bin Laden, you might be thinking the same thing. Why would you ever take cake from him? Why he's this, he's that? Or you might be like, I like this man, So desire is a snapshot of what you are receiving, how you are receiving it, why you are receiving it. But it's not just cake. It's what you are hearing. It's what you're eating. It's what you're experiencing. It's like what music you're listening to. It's what job you're working. That's desire, okay? You can identify the type of prayer level that you are in based off of what you are receiving, what Father you are serving, okay? And this is why I paired desire with prayer, because they go together. And this is like, prayer is one way we manifest our life, okay? When you can identify what you are receiving in your totality, how you are receiving it, you can then identify, based off of the 7 types of prayer, what level you exist on. Then you can identify what father you are serving. Okay, if you exist on the lowest level called ignorance, almost certainly, well, yeah, not almost certainly, certainly you are serving the devil. You are receiving things from the devil. You're probably gossiping about people. You're probably saying, oh, these homeless people are, just greedy. Or you're probably saying rich people got there because they hurt people, right? You have an error. So the devil is feeding you these things, okay? The devil is feeding you these things, and that's desire. You probably exist on the bottom level of prayer, the lowest level, called ignorance. Okay? Now, I think I'm about done with this live stream. So I hope everybody understood what I said. It's kind of long. If you're on TikTok, don't worry. I just live streamed this also to YouTube. You can go, I think in a couple of hours, I'll post it on YouTube and you can go watch it for yourself, rewind it, think about it. But again, if you like the live, don't forget to follow. Don't forget, if you want to hear more, learn more about prayer, more in depth, I've written the book. I was reading from the book that I wrote. Go on my it's on my LinkedIn or excuse me, my link tree. It's in my link in my bio. Download the book. It's called A Peace Called Love. Okay? A Peace Called Love. All right? If you didn't know, now you know.